This video covers close day functions, including closing all open orders, balancing cash drawers, correcting time clock entries, and performing the close day function. Closing open orders will be our first task. To determine if there are any open orders, press the Orders button on the main Take Order screen. By pressing List All Due, you'll get a list of any orders that are still outstanding. Select the first order and determine what happened to it. In this example, we realized that we were paid for it and forgot to close the check, so we press Quick Cash since we've collected the money. In the second example, we'll be picking up an order that we determined subsequently was a customer who drove away. We never made the product. We'll use the coupon function to void the order. When voiding the order, we'll be asked for a reason, in this case, a drive away. We'll also be asked if the item was already made. Was it a waste, or was it simply an order that never existed? For the final order, we'll determine this was an order that was left open because of the fact that there was a customer complaint, and we actually comp the order so that the customer would be satisfied and come back again. We can select the comp order function, press Done, and the order is complete. Our next step is to balance cash drawers. We'll look at two methods to do this. Both methods of balancing cash begin with selecting the Cash button and the Cash Out function. When we select the Cash Out function, drawers are shown on the screen. The active ones must be balanced. Select an active drawer and press the Reconcile button at the top of the form. This method is known as the summary reconciliation method. Each of the pay methods are shown on the left-hand side with the theoretical total next to each label. We simply go from blue box to blue box, entering the actual amount. If the actual amount is the same, whether it's cash, check, credit card, or other, we can simply press Exact. When we get to an item where there's a discrepancy, we can enter the actual amount that we have in the drawer. If there's a discrepancy, we'll need to enter an adjustment code on the bottom of the form. In this case, we are cash short. There's also an opportunity to declare cash tips on the lower right-hand side of the form in the blue box labeled Report Cash Tip Amount. After we've determined that all of our cash balancing entries are correct, cash tips should be reported as required by law. When this function is complete, it's time to balance. We do that by touching the Balance button on the upper right portion of the form. The system will ask if we are sure we're ready to balance the drawer, because this is a closeout function, and notify us one more time that the amount collected is incomplete or discrepant from the actual amount. An approval code may be required. Finally, a printed copy can be printed out for your records. Now let's look at the second option. Select Cash and Cash Out once again. Once again, select the cash drawer and press Reconcile, but this time we will select the Go To Detail button. The Detail button reminds us that we have $100 to be returned to the cash fund, and then gives us the opportunity to let the system do the multiplication by simply telling it how many 20s, 10s, 5s, 1s, etc. we have in the drawer. Cash can be balanced this way as opposed to putting in a summary method. We're balanced. We have $27.80 in the drawer, and that's what we've accounted for. Next, we can look at the checks and balance each one of them individually. We can do the same for credit cards, gift certificates redeemed, and any other kind of detailed transaction that we have recorded throughout the business day. Finally, we can view the cash transactions. Here we're seeing not only the cash activity, but the cash paid out for tips on credit cards. When we're satisfied we're done, we would go back to Summary and again declare the tip amount as mentioned in the previous portion of the video. We'd balance the same way. Step is review and correct time clock entries. To perform this function, we'll begin with the Management button from the main System menu, and we'll select Adjust Time Clock. This will display all employee punches for the day. White entries have both clock in and clock out completed. Blue entries are lacking a punch. Either of them can be changed. To correct an employee who failed to clock out, we can begin by touching Time Now, which will fill in the date and time, and simply edit the time to the correct clock out time. We can also edit the time clock entries for an employee who has clocked in and out, but notified us that they forgot to clock in on time or forgot to clock out on time. Simply go to the appropriate hour or minute field, change it, and change AM or PM as necessary, and then click OK to be able to save the entry. Changes are recorded both with original time and change times for management reporting purposes. We're now ready to close the day. The Close Day function also begins with the Management button. Select Management, and then select Close Day from the Management options. The Close Day form will show you the current business day and give you the opportunity to edit the next day. If you're going to be closed the following day, for example Christmas, highlight the day portion of the next day selection and adjust it so that the opening manager doesn't accidentally open the system on the wrong day. When you're comfortable that's set correctly, press the Start Daily Close button. The system will ask if you are comfortable closing the day now because it is a close function. Answer yes, and you'll be given the opportunity to select a printer. When you see that you have successfully closed the requested business day, have a coffee. It's time for celebration. Press the Exit button. Everything is complete for the day. The system will ask you, do you want to back up the database? Your answer should be yes. One last task, back to the desktop. Simply return to the main menu and press the Exit button. When prompted, select Yes, go back to the desktop. You've finished your day.